Hey, what's up, everyone? Thanks for checking out the video today. This is Coach Southside Braves of the Nashville Nido Kings, and today I have my draft analysis video for the SRL Pokemon Draft League. Before I jump right into talking about my team and the draft I just had earlier this week, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the league as a whole. The SRL is in its third season now. I've been a part of it for the last 2 seasons. Last year being my first, I went ahead and made it to the playoffs, but unfortunately lost in the first round of the playoffs. So looking to improve on that a little bit this upcoming season. The SRL this year will have a ton of content coming out. A bunch of the coaches are content creators, and we're up to 16 coaches in the league. So any week I play one of those coaches that has the battle up on their channel, I'll make sure to link that so you guys can check that out. I will also be having all of my battles up on my channel, along with a weekly recap type video every week too. So plenty of SRL content coming out on my channel as well. And the SRL actually has its own YouTube channel that I will link in the description of this video. And they'll have about 4 videos or so every week, kind of recapping the week before, kind of the top plays, some pick'ems, coach interviews, and power rankings. Power rankings are actually done by myself and Coach Aboot of the Faldor Flapples. We actually recorded the first one for the preseason last night, and that'll be coming out this upcoming Thursday. And I just wanted to say thank you to him real quick. He put a lot of work into that video, actually. He did a lot of research into all the teams that were drafted and was able to kind of talk about a little bit of the rosters for each one of them without spending too much time on any one team. Just power rankings video, we just wanted to kind of rank them, say a quick thing, and then move on. So he did a great job of that, so I just want to thank him for that. And hopefully you guys check out that video this upcoming Thursday and enjoy that. With all that being said, let me go ahead and dive into my team now that I decided to draft for this upcoming league. I had the 4th overall pick in the draft, and like I said, 16 teams in a snake draft. That 4th pick comes up early, but then you have a pretty big gap before you pick again. So I wanted to grab something powerful with my first pick. So with my first pick, I went ahead and grabbed G-Max Rillaboom. G-Max Rillaboom unfortunately has a ban on it in this league that it can't use Grassy Surge ability, which, I mean, that's fine. Grassy Surge, G-Max Rillaboom, it can be very overpowered. And Cinderace also saw the ban on Libero for its G-Max. So those both make sense to me, so that's fine by me. But Rillaboom, even without that ability, gives me a very strong G-Max Pokemon. Provides a little more offensive pressure than I've had with my G-Maxes in the past. Both the last season the SRL and the PWD draft league I'm in, my G-Maxes in both those leagues are Corviknight. So Corviknight, great mon, love having it, has saved me in multiple situations, but doesn't apply a ton of offensive pressure when it G-Maxes. Rillaboom gives me a little bit more of an offensive threat while also having some natural bulk to it. So that's why I went ahead and grabbed Rillaboom with my G-Max pick here. Again, I had kind of that long gap in between that pick and my next one. But when my next one came around, I decided to go ahead and skip the S tier because a lot of those had already been taken. So I decided I could just save that pick for later, and I jumped down to the A tier where I went ahead and grabbed Blissey. Blissey's a mon I've never really used before. Again, I kind of like the offensive pressure over the bulk on teams, but you do need some walls, and there's not much of a better special wall than Blissey. Already using it in practice matches, it can just stall out special attacking G-Maxes, such as G-Max Charizard, the reigning MVP. If I send Blissey in against it, it just stalls out the G-Max, and there's nothing Charizard can do about it. So if the other team doesn't bring a physical attacker to deal with Blissey, Blissey pretty much can just win the game for free. So it's nice to force them to plan for something like Blissey. After that, I kind of had another quick pick, because again, the way Snake works, my second and third will be kind of back-to-back almost. So I went ahead and grabbed Togekiss with my next one. Togekiss is a great mon. I've used it in the past. It can be very annoying to other teams with high crit chances and flinches. And I always like having a strong Fairy on my team. Fairy is just such a useful typing now in Pokemon, and having a strong one is always a must for one of my teams. So I enjoyed grabbing Togekiss here, something I'm used to, and something I think I can get great value out of. So yeah, that was my 2 A tiers in Blissey and Togekiss. So then again, I had that long gap until my next pick again. And with my next one, I grabbed a mon that I've never really used in the past and never really considered it all that strong. But I've seen it used a couple times in about the last month or so and looked into it a little bit and decided to go ahead and get myself a ground type that I think I can use, and that would be Quagsire. Like I said, grab Quagsire in this pick because I think having ground type's always a must. Either that or a Volt Absorber. Being able to deny those Volt switches is something I always look for. and Quagsire accomplishes that for me. So, like I said, looking forward to kind of digging into Quagsire, see what I can do with him. Something I've never used before, but like I said, I'm excited to. After that, I went ahead and grabbed another B tier Mon, and I grabbed Charizard. Now, Charizard is the reigning MVP. Unfortunately, the G-Max is, so I have regular Charizard, which can still be very useful, and there's plenty of different sets you can run with Charizard. Not many surprises coming out of a Charizard at this point, because Gen 1 Mon has been used heavily ever since. Like, people know what you get with Charizard. But giving myself an offensive fire type is nice. Something I kind of skip over in a lot of leagues. I never really get that strong fire type. So getting Charizard here was something I think benefited my team quite a bit, and gives me a nice little grass, water, fire core if I choose to bring that every week with Rillaboom, Quagsire, and Charizard. So yeah, I thought Charizard fit in my team nicely with this pick. After that, I went ahead and grabbed a Mon that kind of destroyed me a little bit last season, and that was Shiftry. Now, it's a little weird to grab Shiftry without a Ninetales or a Torkoal, and I'm aware of that. But I do think I can still set up Sun and run a little Sun team if that's what I choose to do. With I could run Solar Power Charizard, have the Shiftry, and even Rillaboom could set up the Sunny Day for me if that's how I choose to run that. But yeah, so grabbing Shiftry here, like I said, a little bit of weird pick, maybe my most questionable of the draft, but it did some work against me last season. I wanted to grab it and see if I can get some use out of it. So if not, maybe Shiftry something I drop later in the year, but I wanted to snag it and see what I can do with it. So that was my pick in Shiftry. After that, I wanted to give myself an Ice type, and I went ahead and grabbed my second C-tier Mon, and that was Vanillux. Vanillux, I think, is one of the most underrated Mons in draft leagues. Setting up free hail when it comes in and then being able to set up an Aurora Veil following that is so nice. Aurora Veil is just so clutch. So, like I said, I think Vanillux is one of the most overlooked Pokemon in draft leagues, so I wanted to grab it this season and see how well I can utilize it. So hopefully it comes in clutch. I think I will be bringing it more often than where it's currently like slotted on my tier list. Like, it's kind of on the bottom half of my team if you look over at the tier list. But I think I'll probably be bringing it more often than not. And as soon as I made this pick in Vanillux, I saw who I wanted my next pick to be and was just begging it wouldn't be taken until I came up again. And fortunately it was not. And I was able to grab Alolan Sandslash to pair with the Vanillux. These two, giving myself a nice little hail team right there with those two, is so nice for my team because it gives me different options now. Like I said, if I wanted to run the Sun with Shiftry, Rillaboom, and Charizard, I can. If I want to run Hail Team with Vanillux and Sandslash, I can do that as well. Or if I just want to bring bulk and strong Pokemon, I can mix and match. Like, I have different options of what people have to plan for each week now, grabbing this Sandslash here, that I think this pick, as much as I said Shiftry might be my weakest pick of the draft, I love my pick here in Sandslash. My first D tier was one of my favorite picks of my draft. So all that being said, moving on after that, I went ahead and got Behemoth. No idea if I'm saying his name right, if I'm honest. Pokemon I've never really even looked at or considered. But needed a Psychic type. I saw him there. And yeah, I was just looking at kind of usage stats and saw his name pop up. Not very high, obviously, because he's in D tier for a reason. But he has been used, and I kind of wanted to see what I could do with him. Like I said, giving a Psychic type is nice. But yeah, like I said, not much to say about him. He's just something I kind of added to the team here in that D tier. After that, I went ahead and grabbed my E tier. And I'm going to be honest, I think the E tiers are almost pointless. I didn't bring mine a single time last year. I had Maractus as my E tier. And like I said, it never saw the field a single time. And I doubt my E tier this league will either. But I went ahead and grabbed Stunfisk. And with the Stunfisk pick, like I said, that's just my E tier. Like I said, it's probably going to sit on the roster all year and never see the field. But maybe I get the right matchup and I can surprise somebody with it at some point. So, but like I said, not much to say about him. He's just kind of there. Alright, so after that, I decided to jump back up into the S tier and get that S tier that I skipped early in the draft. And I actually got myself a second fairy, a fairy that I've used as a first round pick in a different league before. And that would be Clefable. Clefable can actually do a ton of things. It can be the annoying Wish, Protect, Baton Pass set. it can actually has great coverage and just be a straight up special attacker with like Flamethrower and Thunderbolt. So like I said, Clefable is somebody that you kind of have to plan for, but you don't really know what you're planning for. Like I said, just so much variety there. Gives me a second fairy type. So like I said, I just think Clefable does so much for a team that it still being there this late in the draft, I thought I had to go get it. So that's what I did. I went and got that. So then I had one pick left in the B tier, and I was kind of just looking at typings and what am I missing, and I didn't see anywhere on my team a electric type or a poison type, and there was a B tier mon that's luckily both. So I went ahead and grabbed Toxtricity with my last pick. One of the coolest looking new generation mons in my opinion. Don't know how viable it is. I will probably be bringing it quite a bit, and I think it can be strong. I just don't know how reliable it is. But yeah, I thought it fit my team for what I needed. Like I said, gave me that poison and electric type I was missing. So I thought that was just a nice way to finish rounding out my roster. So yeah, just wanted to say something quick about each of the mons I drafted. And this is the team for the upcoming season. I know a bunch of teams have already made moves post-draft, dropping people, adding somebody. I'm going to rock with these 12 going into week 1. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. The battle should be taking place next week. I'll have that video up probably later in the week, probably next Friday or Saturday. So if you guys want to come back, check that out. I'd appreciate it. And like I said, check out the SRL channel too. Power Rankings will be coming out on Thursday for that. I'll have that link in the description. Like I said, any of the SRL content you guys choose to watch is greatly appreciated. So yeah, thanks for checking this out, and I'll talk to you all later. See you.